In this lesson, we're going to set up the energy pickup. Alright, so now that we have our player moving and our enemy moving, we want to go ahead and add our last element to this, and that is the energy pickup. So to get started, we need to create the actual object itself. So to do this, let's right click and we can create a 3D object, and we're going to create a sphere. And I'm going to scale the, well actually, you know what, let's just adjust the radius. Let's not take the scale down. Actually, let's do 0.5. I'm sorry, we do need to take the scale down. 0.5 on all of this here. Okay, and you'll see that that has been adjusted. The actual sphere collider that's on this, you can adjust that to about the size that you want for that to be able to be picked up. I would go ahead and just leave it at the size of the object itself, so 0.5. We want to make sure that that is set to a trigger, so if we collide over the top of that, we can pass through it and then it will actually disappear. We want it to destroy whenever we run over the top of it, but we will also want it to say that it has been activated, okay, or been collected. Let's go ahead and create a material for this. We'll go to our meshes folder. I'm going to go to characters and materials, and you'll see that I already have an energy material already created. It's using the unlit color shader. And so with this, if you wanted to, you could also make this transparent. And so that's going to take a texture. Let's just go ahead and use the color on that. If we take the alpha, you can drop that down. It might make it semi-transparent there. That's totally up to you. I'm going to go ahead and leave it just fully transparent, or fully opaque, excuse me. So we have that color. Let's go ahead and apply that to our object, and then with that we need to give it a glow. So select the energy ball, and actually let's go ahead and rename this. Let's call it energy. And with that energy piece, let's go ahead and add a new component to this, and we're going to go to Effects and Halo. And the halo, what it's going to do is it's basically going to create a glow around this. I'm going to set this value to 1. You can see the glow around the object. Let's set the color to our natural green color, so 255 on that. If you want, you can actually pick the color right from the screen. So if you left click on the eyedropper, you can pick it right from here. But I've got it, so I don't really need to do that. Oops, let's go ahead and change that back to what I had there. So there we go. So now we have this halo, and the player can go over the top of that and can collect that. Let's deselect it so we can kind of see what that looks like. So yeah, that looks pretty good. You know, we may try to adjust that main color there. Let's see if we can't get that to dissolve a little bit. Well, we can't really do that. That's fine. Not a big issue. We want to be able to see it anyway, so we've got this sphere and we can pick that up. If you want to change its color, by all means go ahead and do so. The green can be kind of hard to see. So you may make it something like a red color, so that way it's easier to see in the viewport itself. So let's take that halo, let's make that red. Yeah, that's a little bit easier to see. Might even try yellow, so that way it doesn't look like it's dangerous. It looks like it might actually explode, might create some issues. And you know, again, you want to think about how the player takes things in. So it kind of reminds me of a certain game. We're not going to say what it is, but you know, you get the idea. You can collect this energy piece. So with this, I am going to go ahead and adjust the radius of that trigger there, just to make it a little bit closer to the actual size of the energy ball itself. So that way it's kind of a mix between the glow and the actual component. Alright, so let's make a prefab out of this. let's go to our prefabs folder and let's drag and drop that in. Oh, before we do that, let's go to energy. Let's also add our script to this, which I've already created, and it's called energy pickup. And so with that set there, let's go ahead and drag and drop this into our prefabs. So that way we can duplicate it. If we need to make any changes, we can do that on the fly. So let's go ahead and test this out to see if this works. Let's hit play. And I don't see any problems with that. Let's go ahead and go over the top of that, and you can see that that energy ball has disappeared. If we select our player, let's go to the scene view really quickly. If we select our player, we can take a look at the script that's on him, and it says player inventory, and that has been set to 0. It should actually be set to 1 for that. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening. Why isn't that counting up? Let's take a look at our energy script. So let's go ahead and go into here. Let's find energy pickup. And looking at this, it's saying on trigger enter collider if the tag of the object that's colliding with it, which is our player, if its tag is player, the player inventory.collected energy should go up by 1. And then we'll set that active to false. And what that means, it's just going to turn it off. Okay, it's still there. It's not destroying it, but it's still there. So that's not the issue there. Let's take the collected energy. Its int value is 0. Yep, that should be it. Let's see here. Let's take a look, make sure our player is set to player. This object is set to energy. We have everything that we need. We have the trigger. We know that that is being activated. Let's take a look at our player one more time. And then while we're playing here, let's actually go ahead and let's apply that script to that prefab there. Let's go ahead and hit play one more time. And I'm going to split this off so that way I can see the game view, but then I can also look at that, and I've got the player. Okay, there we go. Collected energy is set to 1. Oh, I remember what's happening. Whenever the enemy catches you, he takes the energy away. Okay, so that's one part of that script on the enemy. Okay, so we can play this. We can pick up our energy, and we should be able to take it to the mothership. The mothership already has a script on it, and so the mothership, you can see collected energy is set to 0, and so we'll go ahead and we'll take that over to the mothership. We're going to try to go to the middle, and I'm going to try to get there as quickly as possible. I don't think I created a shortcut to this, so we're going to try to do this like a maze. There's a rock there that could be a landmark to kind of help remind you of where the mothership, maybe that's something that says, hey, the mothership is close by. And hopefully I don't run into the enemy here. And let's take a look at where I'm at. And I missed it. Okay, so I'm gonna cheat here just to make this a little bit easier. Oh, I know the enemy's coming up. Oh, it finally caught up. Okay, it must have tried to track my last known position on that. So alright, so let's go up to the mothership and let's select that and then go back to our game and watch the collected energy from the mothership. Go ahead and touch that, and you can see that that has been added to 1. And then also the player, let's select the player, and on the player it should have collected energy set back to 0. Okay, and that's based on the script there. Okay, so everything is working as it should. We've got our energy. Now what we can do is we can start to place those energy pieces around the level. And actually, you know what, let's take our enemy and let's move him toward the center, so by the mothership. And you know what, let me move around here. Once we get into this kind of movement, it can go a little bit slower. So we're going to move him right around in this area, making sure that he's in an area that starts on the nav mesh. And then we could take our energy piece, let's hit F here, inside of our scene view, and we'll start to move these and place these along our path. If you want, you can go to the top view and then isometric, and then just place that along the path in these areas. So Control D to duplicate, and we'll start to add these around the level. Okay. And so we'll have quite a few of these in these areas, and just to get us started. Okay, and it only takes 10 to defeat the game. And we'll just start to spread these out a little bit more. All right, very good. So we are just about finished. We're getting all of the pieces just lined out. You can see how this works. You know, the whole idea behind game development. So I'm going to add just one more extra one in here. You know, you just start to build up systems as you go, and you're getting a good idea of all of the different parts of this, and hopefully you're learning quite a bit about Unity as we go along. So I hope you're having fun with this. So now we have those energy pieces. Because they are all prefabs and they all have their own script, they can be picked up individually. So we've used an object-oriented programming method for doing this. All right, so now that we have that, we can pick up the energy, we can deposit it into the mothership. The enemy can actually take that energy away from us if he touches us. And so I don't really want to make any health or anything like that, but we do need to create some sort of game logic that counts how many energies are in the level itself, and then we need to determine if the game can even be won. And so it needs to check to see how many energies are in the level, how many you need to defeat the game, and if the amount of energies left in the level is less than you need to defeat the game, then it's just going to say game over on that. And so now we're getting into the point where we need to start wrapping up the game itself, giving it a win state and a lose state. So we'll start with that next.